We have less than a week before the football season's actually here, ladies and gentlemen. We have news with Mike Evans where it looks like his contract situation may lead him out of Tampa. Now, obviously, the Bucs are not contending this next season. And honestly, a Mike Evans trade, I don't even think would be bad for his fantasy football value. I mean, if somehow the Jets could pull an Evans deal, make a lot of sense for the Bucs, make a lot of sense for the Jets, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later. Let's first go ahead and get a $350 fantasy football draft going, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we're close to filling this, so there are 9 spots open in this draft. So, you know, this is probably going to take a little bit of while to fill. We'll sit here and wait about 10-ish seconds and see how fast it is. But yeah, I don't think this is going to fill immediately. So we're going to have to go ahead and we are going to have to instead hop into a Best Ball Mania draft while we wait. This is the largest fantasy football tournament on the planet. This is a $25 buy-in, $15 million prize pool, $3 million for first place tournament. I mean, we got 16th place in this bad boy last year. Hopefully we're able to go ahead and have a team get first place this season. That's the dream, ladies and gentlemen. Henry coming out saying in a high stakes league earlier today, got Cooper Kupp pick 24. Oh, really interesting. James asking Kupp or Lamb. We'll see where Cooper Kupp goes in these drafts. Super interesting. Just Bears says Panthers should get Evans. I'd assume that Mike Evans is not going to be traded within the same division. I'd imagine that it's more so an AFC team, especially a contender, that's going to go ahead and trade for Mike Evans. But we're going to get pick 1 here. We have not had pick 1 in quite some time, ladies and gentlemen. Diana asking where the Super Chats are. I'll go ahead and turn the Super Chats on. I'm sorry. We had them off for the last live stream. And yeah, so I think we'll have the Super Chats on for some live streams, off for others. We'll turn them on for this one. I am sorry about that. Okay, but we are going to go Jefferson out the gate. And then obviously we're going to be trying to get an elite level quarterback at the 2-3 turn. And then we'll figure out what's going to happen after that, ladies and gentlemen. But let me get my phone to make sure that I know when that $350 draft starts so we don't have to auto draft that bad boy. And let's get this $25 Best Ball Mania draft going. That $350 draft has 6 spots open if anybody is wanting to get in there with us. But we are on the clock. Let's go ahead. Let's get Justin Jefferson in here at pick 1. Going to be a no-brainer selection. I mean, especially in underdog drafts, obviously, where these wide receivers are going to get pushed up later on. I mean, if you were in, say, a 10-team league with only 1 flex spot, I think there you actually have a little bit more of a tougher thought where it's like, okay, would I rather have Jefferson? Would I rather have CMC? But no, here you clearly go Jefferson. But Amon-Ra St. Brown off the board at pick 4, ladies and gentlemen. Freaking wild. We got Smelly out here in this draft with us at pick 3. Happy to have you, my man. It's been a member of the flock for years now. Jeep guy out here, happy to see you. And George saying he still doesn't see Super Chat. Just refresh. If you refresh the live stream, Super Chat should be available. I apologize. But yeah, you're never seeing Amon-Ra St. Brown go for. Where are we getting Cooper Kupp going in this draft? Kupp goes 6. Really interesting to see Kupp go at 6. I mean, yesterday, whenever the news broke, we decided to go ahead and take Bijan Robinson over Cooper Kupp at that same pick. Dylan in here at 6. My man, love to hear thought process and taking Kupp. Nicholas saying he is at pick 4. My man, you got to let us know what you're doing here taking Amon-Ra St. Brown. And the creator says, made it in this draft first time with you. I'm Eric. Good luck. Good luck, my friend. And happy that we get to draft with you. Here, you're at pick 9, so we're not going to have to deal with you sniping us, which is nice. But of course, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what we're doing, we are streaming on Underdog Fantasy. This is the largest fantasy football platform on the planet. If you're looking at these massive tournaments, they're best ball drafts, so no time commitment at all during the year. That's how I drafted 700 teams and won $150,000 last year on Underdog. And also, I've never seen this before, literally ever. I've never seen Underdog have 2 special pick'ems in the same week, but they have a site-wide special pick'em. Patrick Mahomes more than less than half a total yard against the Lions on Thursday night. They also have an exclusive Pick 'em Josh Allen more than less than half a passing yard for the Monday night game against the Jets. That's only with promo code FLOCK. And then you also have a mystery additional special pick 'em if you are new on Underdog Fantasy. So, of course, if you want to check out all those, if you want to actually get all 3 pick'ems and at the same time a 100% deposit match up to $200, you can find a link to Underdog Fantasy in the live chat, in the description section, in the comment section. Promo code FLOCK is going to get you a 100% deposit match. All 3 special pick'ems are 2023 fantasy football rankings, a free trial to flockfantasy.com where you can find our 2023 fantasy football draft guide. So make sure y'all are taking advantage of that, ladies and gentlemen. And now we have Sean coming out. Says 12-team PPR started. Tyreek, Jacobs, Ridley, Keenan, Brees, Herbert. Are we liking the start? Oh, that's beautiful, my friend. Really, I mean, Herbert round 6 is nuts. Adams makes it down to 18 to pair up with the Kelsey team. Eric gets CeeDee Lamb at 16. My man, I am jealous of pick 16 CeeDee Lamb. Waddle goes 20. Let's swing this back around. Mahomes goes 21. Olave off 22. Merlanio took Jamar Chase round 1. What are they deciding to do here? Pick 23. They go to Devonta Smith, so we're going to keep it a little unique. We're going to go ahead and take Josh Jacobs as well as Josh Allen. I mean, generally trying to get an elite level quarterback round 3 if we can. I understand maybe we could have had Justin Fields making it back to us at pick 48. But at the end of the day, I just would way rather have Josh Allen. I think the wide receiver drop-off is going to be a little bit less. And then also you're looking at Jacobs. I mean, if you look at all running backs that had 300 carries and 50 receptions in a season at 26 years old or younger, the following year, these guys went out there and they had a top 6 running back season about 50% of the time. A top 12 season about 75% of the time. I mean, I understand some people are worried about the volume you saw last year. Personally, I'm not. I'm going to go through and get Josh Jacobs everywhere we can. Now, Tony coming out says 2 quarterback, 6-point passing touchdown league. We have Hurts, Watson, Pierce. Oh, awesome in a 2 QB league. Robinson, Lockett, Ridley, Hawkinson, Walker. How the hell did we do this? Great team, my man. I mean, having Jalen Hurts, Deshaun Watson in a 6-point passing touchdown 2 QB league while still not really sacrificing much at running back wide receiver is just nutso. But Lamar Jackson off the board, 29. You have noticed Lamar moving up and up and up. Kevin Effect says, drop the link to become a member. And then becomes a member automatically. Well, thank you, my man. And yeah, I know it's like weird to try to be like a YouTube member the way that they have it set up, but apparently you can't be a YouTube member or join as a YouTube member on the YouTube app on your iPhone. Google has something where, I mean, Apple takes 30%, I guess, of the revenue. So YouTube said, yeah, no, on an iPhone app, you can't join. You should be able to on Android. You can do it on any computer. But thank you so much, my friend. And you have a pretty big run on wide receivers. You have Keenan Allen going 32, which you don't see too often. Eric goes ahead and gets Amari Cooper there at 33. Love the start from Eric. Austin Eckler, CeeDee Lamb, and then Amari. But Frank coming out says 12-team draft last night. Burrow, Chase, Olave, Gibbs, Walker, James Cook, Goddard, JSN, Brian Robinson, Quentin Johnston, Mostert, Mims, Mingo. Thoughts and advice. Overall, I really like the team. I'd say just if we're going to be looking to do anything, potentially if you have Raheem Mostert starting off extremely strong with Jeff Wilson on the IR, with Devon Achane also being injured, I would look to sell high on Mostert, but we're going to be waiting until hopefully he has that spike week early on in the season where we get the ability to go through and sell him. Fields goes 39. So now that we see Fields go off the board 39, 100% going to stand by our decision to go Jacobs, Allen there at the turn. Okay. See, Mike Williams goes 41. Mike Williams would have been a player we would have selected if he made it back to us at 43. Now, I will say in general, we're more excited about Mike Williams round 4 whenever you're looking for Justin Herbert round 5. Clearly, we really weren't looking for Justin Herbert based off our start. Smooth this overall. DeAndre Hopkins off the board, 44. Which team took Higgins? This team took Higgins. This team took Chase. So obviously one of these teams are going to be the teams that get Joe Burrow. You don't know who's going to be who. This team went Mahomes, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Mark Andrews. Definitely a unique build. And they go Deontay Johnson there, 45. Joe Burrow goes 46. Okay, this team started 3 wide receivers out the gate. They went Chase, Smith, and Calvin Ridley. Okay. I have plan A, B, and C in my mind. I think a lot of y'all probably know who they are. Breece Hall goes. Breece Hall was plan A. Plan B is going to be Kenneth Walker. Plan C is going to be TJ Hawkinson. I understand we're going a little bit light here at wide receiver, but that's kind of the flexibility that you get by taking Justin Jefferson there at the 101. And yeah, I probably would have taken Breece Hall if you would have made it to us at 48, just given the fact that the majority of these other drafts, he went well before that. At the same time, we are just trying to optimize for weeks 15, 16, 17 in a tournament like this. But nonetheless, completely fine with what we get here. And let's see, our next question coming out from, I believe, George says, ESPN full BBR 10-team league. We only start one flex. We had the 101. Can we rate the squad where we have Fields, Mixon, Gibbs, Jefferson, McLaurin, Pitts, Pierce, Evans, Pittman, Dillon, Gabe Davis, Moore, and Tua? Love the channel. Thank you so much, my man. Yeah, I think, honestly, we avoided the landmine that a lot of people are going to find themselves in a 10-team league where you only start 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. We didn't overly prioritize wide receiver depth. Really like what we did. I will say once we get McLaurin back and healthy, I even think at that point we could potentially try to package together McLaurin and Pitts for a tight end upgrade, or McLaurin and either Mixon or Gibbs for a running back upgrade. But until then, I think you're going to keep the team as is. Love the squad, my man. Dameon Pierce off 56. Dameon Pierce has been a big-time riser in these drafts as of late. And our next question coming out from Isaiah says 12-team PBR where we have Jefferson, Allen, Olave, Hawkinson, Pierce, Mike Williams, James Cook, Michael Pittman, Brian Robinson, Zach Charbonnet, Rashad Bateman, as well as Devon Achane. These guys at the bottom of the roster, I'm actually fine rostering because I think we are going to get clarity early on in the season. I like making the consolidated bet on the Buffalo Bills offense here. The only thing I'd say, if we get an opportunity to package like Olave and Pittman together to go get Stephon Diggs, to stack Stephon Diggs with Josh Allen, I think that'd be interesting. But yeah, outside of that, great team, my friend. And Christian coming out and says, 12-team PBR keeper league, picking 12. Most of the elite running backs and wide receivers will be gone. We're keeping A.J. Brown in the 3rd, Fields in the 15th. At the 1-2 turn, if Henry is there, would you take him? If not, would you consider Waddle/Gibbs, or would that be a reach? I mean, obviously, it's going to depend on how many keepers are being kept. I mean, if we're keeping 2 guys and everybody else keeping 2, then generally the 1-2 turn's more like going to be the 3-4 turn in a regular fantasy league. And honestly, at the 3-4 turn, no, I'd say Jahmyr Gibbs, Jalen Waddle would be great selections. Obviously, if Derrick Henry were to make it to you there, then we go ahead and pull the trigger. Take him says, am I starting Brian Robinson over Breece Hall week 1? Oh, I have no idea. Can y'all please spam the chat? Who are you going with week 1? Breece Hall or Brian Robinson? Obviously, we have to be concerned about Hall starting a little slow with the Dalvin Cook usage and him coming off the torn ACL. Now, let's see where Mike Evans ends up going in this draft with the news. As well as Chris Godwin still goes at 58. I think, obviously, if Evans were to get dealt, then Godwin has to skyrocket. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, I'm actually going to take this Mike Evans news pretty serious just because on the surface, it does make so much sense for like pretty much both sides for a team that's ready to contend right now to go through and try to trade for Mike Evans. And the same thing for the Bucs, who have no plans to contend this season, to send Evans away. Okay, but Robinson, Hall, Robinson, Hall, Robinson, Hall, Robinson. This is what I was saying. Hall, literally, it's 50-50, my friend. This is why I was saying, like, yeah, I don't know how to answer that. I mean, hopefully we get some more clarity on the usage Breece Hall should have week 1 by the time we actually have to make the decision. Alexander Madison off the board, 68. Madison would have been a selection we would have made if he would have made it to us at 72. Rashad White goes 69. Not really looking at Rashad White here. JSN off 70. I would have loved Jackson Smith and Jigbo with this pick. Okay, Merlanio has Herbert, Hall, Chase, Smith, Ridley. So, I mean, if we're looking at what we're doing on the turn here, I mean, obviously the Buffalo guys are appealing whenever we have Josh Allen. Gabe Davis goes. So I think we're going to go ahead. We are going to take Mike Evans. And yeah, just in case you didn't see the report, here it is. Mike Evans informs the Bucs he will discontinue contract negotiations on September 9th. And since then, a lot has come out about if this contract doesn't get done, the possibility of Mike Evans being traded from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But as I was saying previously, I don't necessarily think that would be a bad thing for Mike Evans, if we're going to be honest. And we are going to go ahead and take James Cook here as well. That way we can get some correlation with this Buffalo Bills offense. So now at running back, we're sitting with Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, James Cook. Wide receiver, we have Jefferson, Mike Evans. Tight end, we have TJ Hawkinson as well. I like the team. I like it. And A Mavi coming out says, hey, Mason, should I trade Quentin Johnston for Pat Frymuth? My only other tight end is Sam Laporta here. Oh, hell yeah. Go ahead and make that deal, my friend. I mean, assuming it's a redraft league. Obviously, Dynasty would be a little bit different. Finn says, who would you prefer to pick up off the waiver wire? Devon Achane or Tank Bigsby? Most dedicated fantasy football on the game. Gosh darn planet no. My man, thank you so much for being a long-time member of the flock. I think you have to go Devon Achane, right? Now that they don't make a play for JT, or they can't make a play for JT, regardless of any way you put it, plus you have, Jeff Wilson going on the IR, I think you kind of have to go through and take Devon Achane. Now, let's move this over. Edward says, rate the team. It's a 10-team PPR league where we have one flex spot. Burrow, CMC, Madison, Adams, Waddle, Goddard, Higgins. And then on the bench, we have James Cook, DeAndre Hopkins, Brian Robinson, Traylon Burks. Really like the team overall, my man. Definitely agree. We want to go with the elite level RB1 here with Christian McCaffrey in this kind of format. And honestly, kind of crazy you got Devontae Adams on the way back around round 2. I like the Burrow Higgins stack. I like the construction. Benji says, what day do you think the non-PPR rankings will be out? I'm going to try to get the non-PPR rankings out on flockfantasy.com tonight, my friend. We'll try to get those out tonight for you. Okay. But Montgomery goes 79. You have Cam Akers off the board, 81. You can come in here. Do you mean open the door? Here you go, girl. Come inside. Dog wants to come say hello to everybody. Come here. I know. Are you being good? You being good? Are there any bad guys out there protecting us? If y'all don't know, we got a guard dog on the loose. Okay. Nobody better be coming out here trying to mess with us, right? Say I'm vicious. Vicious. But we have Alvin Kamara going off the board here, 84. Completely fine seeing Kamara go, of course. I mean, at this point, we kind of want wide receivers making it back to us. And Michael Pittman, 87, behind Sutton, behind Sky Moore, behind Brandon Cooks. People have lost their minds. Like, this is phenomenal value with Michael Pittman, one of our clear avoids last year in drafts. Diana says, hey, May, should I trade Amon-Ra St. Brown and Judy for Kupp in a 10-team league to fly? I personally would. If we have Olave, Godwin, Terry, Addis, I would go ahead and pull the trigger. But generally, I'm just trying to chase the highest upside possible. Now, Swift off the board at pick 90. Pacheco goes 91. Let's swing this back around. You've had some bad news coming out regarding Quentin Johnston, specifically that Joshua Palmer may be ahead of him early on in the season. Okay, I don't want to say too much in terms of who we're looking at with this pick. Tua goes 92. Tua was not someone that we were going to draft considering we had no Dolphins. And obviously, Tua pocket passing option. You do want Tua stacked up if you're going to take him. Herbert off the board 93. Dalvin goes 94. Let's see what this team does here. I'm assuming this team was wanting to go RB, right? They only have Breece Hall. Okay, what are they doing? They go Quentin Johnston. I was definitely going to take Quentin Johnston if they would have passed them to us. We're going to go Elijah Moore. Generally, we just need a wide receiver that has some level of upside here. And beyond Elijah Moore, if we go Evan Ingram, we don't have to take another tight end. Go Richardson, we don't take another quarterback. Do the running backs, wide receivers have much upside here? Honestly, probably not. No, Cousins definitely a play whenever we have Jefferson and Hawkinson. I'm going to panic auto Evan Ingram here just because I don't necessarily think any of these guys move the needle too much for us. We go ahead and take Evan Ingram and get Hawkins. I mean, we can get Cousins on the way back around to pair up with Jefferson and Hawkinson and just draft a crap ton of wide receivers and running backs. Now, real quick, we are 1 like away from hitting 200 likes on this live stream, ladies and gentlemen. So please, if you have not done so already, go down there, drop a like on the stream. We have live streamed for God knows how many days in a row at this point. And also, we are about to hop into a $350 fantasy football draft. There are only 2 spots available in that other lobby. So make sure you drop a like and stick around so you can see the $350 draft. And if you are wanting to get into one of these drafts with us on Underdog, definitely don't recommend one of these high stakes ones, of course. Would recommend you getting into like a $5 draft with us on Underdog. And we're still drafting every single day until the season starts. Our best ball, so no time commitment at all during the year. So I drafted 700 teams and won $150,000 on Underdog last season. And if you sign up to Underdog with promo code FLOCK, you're going to get a dollar for dollar deposit match up to $100. Plus our 2023 fantasy football rankings, a free trial to flockfantasy.com where you can find our 2023 fantasy football draft guide. And only with promo code FLOCK are you going to get 3 pick'ems this week as specials for you. Literally, I've never seen it before. Never seen them do 2 pick'ems the same week. But you have Patrick Mahomes more than less than half a total yard against the Lions week 1. That's a site-wide special. A code FLOCK exclusive is going to be Josh Allen more than less than half a passing yard Monday night against the Jets. And then also, if you are new to Underdog, you get a mystery pick'em week 1 on top of that and everything else. So make sure y'all are taking advantage of that. I've literally never seen anything like it. But C Money coming out says 12-team PPR double flex where we have Watson, Bijan, Pollard, Andrews, Amari, Judy, Sky Moore, Juwan Johnson, Kirk, Goff, Charbonnet, Bigsby, Bateman, JSN. Thoughts and advice? I would say in general, I don't necessarily think we have to be rostering 2 quarterbacks if Deshaun Watson's our main guy. But I would say on the opposite end of the spectrum, if Juwan Johnson is our starting tight end, actually, no, we have Mark Andrews. Never mind. Yeah, we definitely don't need Juwan Johnson. Cut Juwan Johnson, pick up a running back or wide receiver off the waiver wire that you're excited about, especially in a 12-team league with 2 flexes. I like the rookies with upside down there on the bench. I think we just have to cut Juwan Johnson and find someone else if we can. I like the Amari Watson stack. I like the team. I just want to be changing the bench down there a little bit. Now, Jeep Guy says, any idea when the Flock mod draft video will drop? So I was actually thinking about this today, my friend. What I'm probably going to do is make the video and make it a flockfantasy.com exclusive. I'm going to send you all the link as well so you can send it in the league to make sure everybody in the league at minimum gets to watch it. But I was doing our schedule for the videos that we're going to have coming out before the season starts, and I just kind of ran out of time. I think it's Elliot. Go get up. I think we ran out of time, my man, because we have to do our top 50 rankings for tomorrow. And then by the time we get to Sunday, Monday, everybody's already going to be done with their drafts. So if you've noticed, I haven't done any draft strategy videos. I haven't done any draft generals videos in general, just because everybody's done with them, right? So I'm gonna get it out this weekend on flockfantasy.com, and I'll also get you. I know you're on flockfantasy.com, but just in case somebody in the league's not, I will get you the link so you can sit in the league to make sure everybody has access. Okay, let's move this over. And Njoku off the board, 112. Okay. Take Him says, rate, it's a 12-team PPR, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, tight end, 1 flex. We have Hurts, Hall, Dobbins, Jefferson, Waddle, Amari, Freiermuth, Ayuk. Definitely think we're a little bit more inclined to go through and take those wide receivers where we did in a league where you start 3 of them rather than only 2. The bench is Brian Robinson, Zach Charbonnet, Elijah Moore, Dobbs, Kincaid, Kareem Hunt. My running backs are, I understand our running backs aren't great, and for that reason, I'd probably go and like cut Romeo Dobbs, pick up another RB off the waiver wire just to make sure we get by with it. But in general, whenever we have Jalen Hurts and then these stud wide receivers in a league where we can start 4 of them, we are going to be able to overcome not having great running backs, my friend. But Rashad Penny off the board at 116. Odell Beckham Jr. falling a considerable amount. Now, like I said, the reason we decided not to take Anthony Richardson in the last round is because we can go ahead and we can take Kirk Cousins and pair him with Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson in this one. Now, what's a tough spot is Cousins and Allen have the same bye lined up, which isn't something you're ever too excited about. But to be honest, I'm not going to be crying about it whenever this Underdog Best Ball tournament is a $25 buy-in, $3 million first place prize, where we are trying to optimize for weeks 15, 16, 17 for the highest ceiling possible then. So bye weeks aren't going to matter a ton, but like I said, definitely not ideal. I'm willing to admit that. Now, let's see what this team does here. This team has Herbert, Hall, Chase Smith, Ridley, Gabe Davis, Hollywood. They go Samaje Perine. So we're going to go ahead. We will take Cousins to pair him up with Josh Allen. And we're also going to take Tyler Boyd just because we kind of need another wide receiver, right? Need another wide receiver. Okay, Chris coming out says, at the 1-2 turn in a 12-team, 2-player keeper league, picking 12, if Kupp falls to me, would it be foolish to pass for Waddle and Gibbs? Already have A.J. Brown. I would say, yeah, I'm still taking Kupp over Gibbs and Waddle. It would be a little bit different if it was like a week-to-week injury. Right now, he's labeled day-to-day. And I understand, I mean, hamstrings are super tricky. By no means do I don't think Cooper Kupp's coming back tomorrow. Hell, he could easily miss this week of football. But it's not like this is someone that we're worried about missing 4, 5, 6 weeks. So it is. I still take him. Clutch says, how do you feel about weekly winners? I DM you my team. I'm sorry, my friend. I can't pull up any DMs right now. Weekly winners is a tournament I haven't done a ton of on Underdog so far this offseason because it's brand new. And I've proven that I can have a ton of success in these drafts. Like last year, I won multiple tournaments on Underdog. I mean, if you look at my overall advance rates as well, I had better results than literally anybody you would ever be able to find last year. I've proven that to myself, so I'm willing to go out there and I'm willing to hop into a ton of these drafts. But weekly winners, I have no idea, my man. I could be horrendous. So I have stayed away, but it looks like since there's going to be an overlay on weekly winners, I've actually started to get into some more drafts as of late. And just in case if you don't know what that means, so if y'all haven't seen, Underdog is a tournament called Weekly Winners. Now, this is going to be a massive tournament, $15 buy-in, where every single week you get actually, a new winner of it. It's weekly winners, right? So $20,000 for the highest scoring team in the tournament every week, $10,000 for the second, all the way down, $9,000, $8,000, $7,000, $6,000, all the way down the line. But if you look, there are going to be 261,000 entrants into this tournament, but there have only been 205,000 teams drafted so far. It looks like this tournament may not fill. And if it doesn't, say there are only $3 million worth of teams drafted in weekly winners, but Underdog guarantees a $3.5 million prize pool, then Underdog has to go ahead and they have to, in their own money, in their own pocketbook, add in another $150,000 or whatever the difference is into that tournament. So if there's an overlay, you 100% need to be getting some teams in there. I'll keep y'all updated on if it looks like there will be or not. And I promise you, if we get closer to the season, it looks like there's an overlay, your boy will be drafting those teams more on the live stream just because if there's free money sitting out there, we got to take advantage. But until then, I'm not super confident with my strategy, so I haven't done a lot. But the creator says, trying for a repeat, got 27th last year on Best Ball Mania. That is awesome, my man. Hopefully you can get 26 spots higher and get the $3 million this year. And if anybody wins the $3 million on Underdog this year, that's a member of the flock. You better be hosting the next flock meetup and you better be making it wild. Okay. That's all I ask. But Camden says Austin Eckler or CMC as a keeper in a 12-team half-point PPR league. Love the videos. Keep up the content. No, thank you so much, my friend. And I do expect the overall usage as a receiver to come down for Austin Eckler this next season with a healthy Keenan Allen and with a healthy Mike Williams as well. So I'm actually going to go through. I'm going to go CMC over Austin Eckler, my friend. But Overcome coming out says, what do you think? Wilson, Amon-Ra, Olave, Hall, Walker, and both their backups. We have Andrews White on the bench. I trade Walker, Olave, and Andrews for Jefferson and Pitts. Ooh. I would trade Walker and Olave straight up for Justin Jefferson any day of the week. I think going through and including the downgrade we're going to get from Mark Andrews to Kyle Pitts will be a little bit tougher, though. I probably won't do it because of that reason. Okay. So let's swing this back around. And maybe if we really wanted to, we could go ahead and take a third quarterback in this draft since Allen and Cousins have the same bye, but we definitely wouldn't be looking to do that anytime soon. And in that $350 draft we're going to get in after this, ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 spots open. So if you want to draft with us, make sure you go get in that now. There are 2 spots open. Now only 1 spot open in that $350 draft we're doing after. And we're going to go and hop into that one as soon as this one, as soon as it's filled. We'll leave this one. Okay, you assume this team's going to go RBs, right? I mean, they only have Breece Hall, Samaje Perine, Jamal Williams. They go Pickett, which is a little bit of a surprise to me. I think we're going to go ahead, take Adam Thielen and Van Jefferson. I mean, you have to assume that Van Jefferson naturally gets the bump with the injury to Cooper Kupp. I mean, DJ Chark's dealing with a hamstring as well, so I think you have to give a slight bump up to Adam Thielen. Let's go ahead and let's pull the trigger, ladies and gentlemen. But Rocket Man coming out says 10-team at BBR, where we have 3 wide receivers, 1 flex. Is it worth taking Kelsey at the 104 for the positional advantage, or just stick with Tyreek Hill? If it was a 12-team league where we started 3 wide receivers and 1 flex, I would definitely be going Tyreek Hill. But in a 10-team league, I'm fine going Kelsey if you want. Now, Dolkin coming down says, I'm in a 5 keeper, and I just traded Eckler, Debo in a 2nd for Diggs, Javonte, and a 4th. Don't know if I love trading the picks, including with this, my man. Lamb, Etienne, Ridley, DK, Elijah Mordell. I felt like we gave up too much value where it just didn't make sense for us to swap picks. You know? Like if you're going to tell me, Mason, I want to trade Austin Eckler and Debo Samuel for Stephon Diggs, Javonte Williams, say, okay, you do you. You can go ahead and make it. But if you're also moving back in the draft to pull that off, I don't know. There I'm going to be a little bit hesitant, my friend. But YP Creations, longtime member of the vlog, says 10-team 6-point passing touchdown where we have Lamar, Chubb, Madison, Jefferson, Garrett, Amari at tight end, Andrews, and the bench upside rookies. What are your thoughts? Any traits? Don't love Lamar in a 6-point pass touchdown format. Love him in a 4-point league. But if we have that stack with Mark Andrews, beautiful. We have Chubb. We have Jefferson still. Somehow we have all this balance throughout. I really like it. I just want to be rostering as many high upside running backs we can on the roster. That way we can possibly go through and replace Madison. If we need to, of course. Derek says, this dude wants me to trade Henry and Kupp for Jacobs and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Kupp, St. Brown, kind of similar. I'd rather have Kupp at this point, though. Henry to Jacobs, full PPR. Probably give me Jacobs, but it's close. Do those combos make sense? I have Taylor, Bijan, but Taylor on the PUP. Other wide receivers are Amari and Navats. I'll ask the live chat here, my friend. I think it's super close in personal preference, but maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm underestimating how much we should be pushing Cooper Kupp down. Can everybody spam the chat? Who would y'all rather have? Would you rather have Derrick Henry and Cooper Kupp or Josh Jacobs and Amon-Ra St. Brown? Please let me know in the live chat. Are you going to go Cooper Kupp and Derrick Henry or St. Brown and Josh Jacobs? I got 2 votes for Jacobs. Yeah, it looks like now everybody pretty much is going to go Jacobs and Brown. We got 1 vote for Kupp, but yeah, most people are saying Amon-Ra St. Brown here, my friend. I mean, I'm honestly kind of surprised to see how one-sided it is. I thought it was going to be closer to 50-50. That's why we asked. Doctor says, on Discord, how quickly do you usually respond to roster subs? I can pull up and see how far behind we are right now. 8:29. I'd say it's going to take me right now about 3 to 4 days, my friend. 3 to 4 days. James says, now the time to trade for Cooper Kupp. What would you give up? Obviously, it's very difficult to answer that question. If we were looking at making a move for Cooper Kupp, if you could trade like Amon-Ra St. Brown straight up for him, I honestly would. Maybe if you don't have the wide receiver production to cover early on, then no. But assuming you have the production where we can cover early on, that's a move I'd make. But we are 2 likes away, now only 1 like away from hitting 300 likes on this stream. So please, if you have not done so already, go down there, drop a like on this live stream. Help us hit 300, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I have our plans here of what we're going to do on the turn. Okay, in the $350 draft just filled. So we're going to make our 2 picks. We're going to bounce to the $350 draft. Don't you go. So we're going to go Alec Pierce. And we're going to reach on Chark as well. I mean, we have Adam Thielen with this team. So essentially making a consolidated bet that the Carolina Panthers passing offense is better than people expect this next season. Probably going to take 3 more running backs in that draft as well. But let's go ahead and let's get into our next one. So we are going to be, I thought we are, this is, we're full. And we're at pick 5. Okay, so pick 5, brutal, ladies and gentlemen. This is a pick that earlier in the offseason was easy to make because you did get Cooper Kupp. Now what the hell am I supposed to do? Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be tough. Okay. Team 1 on the clock. Derek says not brutal. Kelsey, duh. Previous years, yes. Previous years, yes. I actually really like the values that you get on some of these tight ends in underdog drafts right now. At least later on. So this year it's been a lot harder for me to go through and pull the trigger on them. Jefferson, Chase, Tyreek all off the board. What is Shane doing here? He goes CMC, so he does put us in that tough spot. And we'll go with the unique build, ladies and gentlemen. Hook 'em horns. We'll go Bijan Robinson. Y'all know this is an extremely biased selection. Y'all have only heard me say a million times by now that I interviewed Bijan Robinson at the NFL draft. I went to the University of Texas. I have ran into this man and talked to him in real life outside of the draft. So I'm extremely biased, but ultimately in fantasy football, I want to have fun. I want to take players that I want to root for. I want to root for Bijan Robinson. So we'll go ahead and we'll do it. And Michael in this draft with us at pick 3. Love to see it, my man. Love to see it. And yeah, it would have been nice to get Christian McCaffrey. It would have been. But at this point, we are slowly but surely catching up on our Bijan Robinson exposure. Because y'all know earlier in the offseason when he was going at 5, I wasn't taking him at all. Like my first 100 drafts, I didn't take him once until we ran into him in real life. And I was like, okay, if I don't take Bijan Robinson at all and I can't root for him this season, what am I even doing? And now if I'm looking at this, yeah, I have Bijan Robinson after this draft. He'll be my 4th most invested into running back by dollar signs. My most invested into running back by dollar signs, actually very surprising to see. It's Jamal Williams, but I only have him in 7% of drafts. So I guess I took him in a bunch of high stakes drafts, which I feel very good with the Miller injury and with the Kamara suspension, of course. Okay. Kupp off the board at 11. Okay, Pollard goes 13. Okay. Sean says 10-team, 2 quarterback, 3 wide receiver, 2 flex. Target quarterback round 2. I definitely would at least get an elite level quarterback if you can round 1. And then round 2, round 3. Wait until you see how the rest of your league mates are treating the quarterback value. Now you have Allen, Jalen Hurts off the board. Devontae Adams goes. I would have been pumped to get Adams. So I'm actually going to reach a little bit. Once we see the other elite level quarterbacks go, and we essentially guarantee that we're not going to be able to get an elite level quarterback on the way back around round 3 if we don't take him here. We will take Patrick Mahomes. Now I understand the other teams reach to stack Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, and the other team reaches to stack A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, and we're not stacking it. I honestly don't care. I mean, with Mahomes, he won us the $20,000 or Bulldog tournament. Or no, he won us the $100,000 Big Dog tournament last year on Underdog. Maybe he won us the $20,000 Bulldog tournament too. I don't know. I freaking took Mahomes as my most drafted quarterback last year. I think the opportunity cost isn't going to be massive if you're looking at the wide receiver fall off. But Nadio Potato says 10-team PBR where we only have one flex. Wilson, Eckler, Barkley, St. Brown, Watson, Kmet, Pollard. And then on the bench, we have Sutton, Sanders, Madison, London, JT on the IR. Should try to trade up for a better quarterback or tight end. Hell yes. 10-team league with, this few starting lineup requirements for running back, wide receiver, and flexes. 100% take one of those depth running backs like Miles Sanders and see if we can package him with Russell Wilson and get a better quarterback. 100%. But Lang Dog says, Mason, good luck on repeating your Underdog success this year. If you win the $3 million, it's flog party time, brother. And it will be flog party time. But full transparency, I am probably going to get crushed this season. We got extremely lucky last year, and we're probably getting crushed this year. But Lewis says, thoughts on Mostert for these first few weeks? Obviously in a phenomenal spot with Devon Achane coming off an injury, with with Jeff Wilson on the IR, and with them not making a play for Jonathan Taylor. So overall, yeah, you can be pretty damn excited. But I don't know. He's a 31-year-old running back that had one game in his entire NFL career with 20 or more carries. Now, Shane's on the clock, went CMC Chris Olave in the first 2 rounds. The Tyreek Hill team was able to get Jalen Waddle. Super interesting there. They go Higgins. So we're going to go ahead and we will take DK Metcalf. So when we have no wide receivers to the first 2 rounds in these Underdog drafts, we kind of paint ourselves into a corner where we have to take wide receiver knowing these guys are going to get moved up. But yeah, still fine with this start. It's just so much tougher now that you're not able to get Cooper Kupp. But let me ask you all this in the live chat, because this could have been something that we decided to do differently, of course, if we were to go back and try to fix this. Who would you rather have? Would you rather have Patrick Mahomes and DK Metcalf? Or would you rather have Lamar Jackson and Jalen Waddle? Please let me know in the live chat. Waddle and Lamar or Mahomes and Metcalf? It's close. Waddle. Waddle, Metcalf, Waddle, Metcalf, Waddle. Metcalf, Waddle. Waddle. It looks like most people are telling us we made the mistake. Maybe next go around we can fix that. It would have been nice if we had T. Higgins making it, of course, but it is what it is. You live and you learn. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to join our next draft with me making these mistakes, definitely wouldn't recommend you getting into a high stakes draft with us on Underdog. But if you're new to Underdog, definitely get in one of those $5 drafts with us. Have some fun there. And if you sign up to Underdog Fantasy with promo code FLOCK, they're going to match first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. Plus, we'll get our 2023 fantasy football rankings. Free trial to flockfantasy.com, where you can find our 2023 fantasy football draft guide. These are best ball drafts to no time commitment at all during the season. So I drafted 700 teams, $150,000 last year on Underdog. And also, I've never seen this before, so please make sure you are taking advantage. But they have an exclusive site-wide special, more than less than half a total yard for Patrick Mahomes against the Lions Thursday night. Then they have a flock special, more than less than half a passing yard against the Jets on Monday night. And then if you are new to Underdog Fantasy, they also have a new customer offer where you get an additional mystery pick'em. I've never seen them give 2 pick'ems the same week. Special pick'ems, that is. And I for damn sure have never seen them give 3 the same week. So please make sure y'all are taking advantage of that while y'all still can. And we will go ahead and take DeAndre Hopkins here at 44. Now, this was a Best Ball Mania tournament where Breece Hall went in round 2 and round 3 in a lot of these other drafts, and where we are just trying to optimize for weeks 15, 16, 17. Then instead, we do go ahead and we take Breece Hall, pick 44. But no, this is going to be a smaller field, high stakes tournament, where I think we are more so inclined to go ahead and just take DeAndre Hopkins here. Okay. But let's move this over. Breece Hall off the board, 45. We're 1 like away from hitting 400 likes in the stream. Please go down there, drop a like if you have not done so already. Now, the team that took Chase ends up getting Burrow. It is interesting seeing the team that took T. Higgins decide to go Breece Hall over Joe Burrow. Now, Neil says in a 12-team at PBR2 Flex League, we have Watson and Richardson, Hall, Bijan, Montgomery, Mitchell, Wilson, Higgins, London, Dotson, tight end and Njoku, Inimus. No, I actually really like the construction of the team. Only thing I'd say is if we get an Anthony Richardson breakout early on in the year, then we'll be looking to go ahead and sell Richardson. But I believe Watson has the bye week 5. So if you wanted to hold on to him until after Deshaun Watson's bye, I think you could do that as well. Okay. Let's move this around. We are on the clock. And I have no idea who the hell we're supposed to go with now. Banged up Judy. Banged up McLaurin. I think we're just going to reach way the hell on Dameon Pierce. I know it's a massive reach, but here in the smaller field high stakes tournament, I don't think we go Taylor. I don't think we go with the banged up McLaurin. There's no way in hell I'm taking Darren Waller at this price if we can get Kittle on the way back around. Not taking Judy. Maybe we go Lockett, pair up Metcalf, Lockett, and take Geno later on. I don't know. I feel like we've been in a tough spot, and pretty much every single pick here I've not felt confident with. Every single pick so far in this draft has felt tough. But Austin coming out says 12-team super flex can start 3 wide receivers in a flex. I have the 112, but the 102 wants a pick swap. Should I? And if so, what's strategy at the 2-3 turn? Honestly, yes, we're going to go ahead. We're going to do that. Give me the 102, and we will go ahead and we will take an elite level quarterback with either Josh Allen, Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. I apologize. And I think I don't want to tell you to take another quarterback at the 2-3 turn until you actually see what the rest of your league mates are doing in terms of how they're valuing those guys. But John says best strategy in an 8-team league. 8-team league, you're going to be pushing up the elite 1Z position. So you're definitely going to be going through and pushing up someone like Travis Kelce in an 8-team format. I mean, you're going to get a significant advantage over the rest of the field if you have that elite tight end. Okay, so Jahan Dotson off the board, 61. Kind of sucks we don't get Kittle on the way back around. I would have been excited about George Kittle, 68. Evans goes 62. And the issue with Taylor in these tournaments as well is in Best Ball Mania, you get like a massive advantage over the rest of the field if you take him round 6 because everybody else took him way earlier than that when the tournament's been open for so long. But this high stakes tournament's only been open for the time where Jonathan Taylor has gone round 5, round 6 every single pick. So I would actually probably take Jonathan Taylor at the 5-6 turn in a Best Ball Mania draft on Underdog. But in like one of these high stakes tournaments, honestly, it doesn't make a lot of sense to take Taylor here. But Romfey coming out says 12-team league. What do you think? And we have Lamar, Eckler, White, Jamal, Swift, Dion, St. Brown, Metcalf, Watson, Sutton, Collins, Tony, Higbee. Like the elite level quarterback. After that, I mean, very well balanced team. I think we're going to be strong early on in the season with Jamal Williams. It really comes down to, do either Rachaad White or DeAndre Swift break out by the time we need them? You know? If we have a breakout from one of those guys, I think we find ourselves in a good position. If not, it's going to be tough. But at least we have Jamal Williams at the beginning of the year where we know we have a locked-in starter. Now, we're going to go ahead and we'll take Terry McLaurin at 68. Obviously, with McLaurin dealing with a turf toe, which kind of sucks. I mean, you definitely don't want to be missing any games here in best ball, but I mean, in comparison to someone like Gabe Davis, I definitely think McLaurin is a tier above. So we'll take a swing. We'll take the gamble. Okay. Now, Blake, longtime member of the Flocks, says, hey, brother, hope all is well. 16-team league. Richardson, CMC, oh, how the hell? CMC, ETN, Waddle, Williams, Frymuth, Madison. This looks like a 12-team league, my man. Beautiful, beautiful team. Hopefully we get a Richardson breakout early with that rushing upside. But I have no idea on a 16-team league, you have CMC, ETN, Waddle, all on the same roster. Okay, well, let's move this back around. Taylor and Judy both falling. Now, the issue is, right, if both these guys make it to us at 77, or if one of these players makes it to us at 77, and we've already decided to go through and take Terry McLaurin at a discount for his upside later on in the season, we are going to be putting ourselves in a very difficult position in terms of finding early season production. Like, we can't be optimizing too much for later on in the year. We need to at least be able to get to the fantasy football playoffs before we want to be thinking about trying to score as many points as possible there. So let's see what these teams are doing ahead of us. Same as Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders, and this is also the Miami stack. They have Tyreek and Waddle. They go Javonte. Steve has Herbert, CMC, Hall, Olave. They go Judy. I would have taken Judy if you would have made it to us at 77. Now, at this point, I think we just stay balanced. I think we're going to take Cam Akers here as our RB3. So now at this point, we have the elite level quarterback with Mahomes. Wide receiver, we have Metcalf, Hopkins, McLaurin. Running back, we have Bijan, Damian Pierce, and Cam Akers. By no means am I jumping up and down with joy about this team. If I look back through this, I mean, I don't think there are too many things I regret. Like I said, maybe one of the places we could have gone different is passed on Mahomes at 20 in favor of Jalen Waddle, and then gone Lamar Jackson at 29 instead of DK Metcalf. But outside of that, I think for the information that we had at the time that we made each pick, probably would end up doing the same thing over again. We've just been put in very difficult spots all draft. Now, Planet Res coming out, says 12-team PPR league where we have Watson, Jacobs, Sanders, wide receiver Chase, Waddle, Amari, Hawkinson, and then on the bench, Nico Collins, Warren, Algier, Christian Kirk. We have the Watson, Amari stack. We have great running backs. Only thing I'd say is with Nico Collins, I don't really know what the upside is. If like week one, Nico Collins of the CJ Stroud offense just looks bad, I just go ahead and cut him, pick up a running back. But outside of that, I do really like the team. I like the roster construction, which in my mind, I think is almost the most important thing. Now, Brutus coming out, a.k.a. Santos, says, hey, Mason, my underdog issue got resolved. However, I don't have the Josh Allen special, even though I signed up with code FLOCK. I have my locals membership transfer to Flock Network, sent an email. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll check that email, my friend. And yes, with the Josh Allen special pick'em, so real quick to walk y'all through the pick'ems. The Patrick Mahomes special pick'em for Thursday night should show up for everybody immediately because that is going to be a site-wide special that everybody has. But the Josh Allen exclusive Flock pick'em is not going to be showing up for anybody until September 10th, Sunday morning. That's going to be for the Monday night game. But the reason being is it's only going to be for people who use promo code FLOCK. So they have to go through and they have to manually run that, my friend. So yeah, I'm sorry that you don't see it right now, but you will see it on Sunday morning. And I'll definitely check out your email, my friend. And super sorry about the confusion. Okay. Now, Elijah Moore off the board at 88. Diana says, gave Terry and Jogu Swift for Waddle. Oh, beautiful. Assuming it's a league where we can't start like 5 wide receivers or anything. Chris says, Lawrence, Eckler, Etienne, Cup, DJ Moore, Kirk, DK Metcalf at Frymuth. And then on the bench, we have Addison, Burks, Tony, Bigsby, Harris, Akers, Laporta. I like the team. I just don't like rostering guys like Laporta just because it's going to be so hard to figure out if we can ever actually start them. Going to be kind of clogging a roster spot at the very bottom end for a while. Outside of that, great team. I think we sent up a prayer for Cooper Kupp. I mean, if you have Eckler and then Kupp was your round 2 selection, Cooper Kupp round 2 is still phenomenal. I think we will probably just go ahead and take Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, with Pacheco, I think this man's kind of won the offseason. I know he missed some time earlier on, but I mean, at the end of the day, this is a team that really decided not to go out there and address the running back position at all. They only re-signed Jarrett McKinnon. It's an elite level offense. He looks like he's the clear-cut starting running back in said offense. So yeah, I think we go ahead and I think we take Isaiah Pacheco in here. Don't think twice. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's move this over. We have Pierce, Akers, Pacheco running back with Bijan Robinson. Wide receiver, we have Metcalf, Hopkins, Terry McLaurin. And quarterback, we have Patrick Mahomes. Okay. You drop this, says traded Lazard and Zeke for Addison. What are your thoughts? 14-team league, going to be a little bit tougher. I mean, looking at the roster, we are pretty damn strong in terms of our running back depth overall. I like the trade a lot. 14-team league is just going to be a little bit tougher considering the fact that depth is going to be harder to come by when making those 2-for-1 deals. Okay. Tony off the board, 98. So obviously Tony's in play for us when we have Patrick Mahomes here. So it does kind of suck. See Tony go. At the end of the day, it's not going to be the end of the world. I mean, if you're looking at these high stakes tournaments that are smaller fields, we still want to be stacking. But I mean, last year we won the 100,000 with Mahomes MVS stack. It's not like the stack helped us out at all. Okay. What are these teams doing? Team goes Deshaun Watson 99. I probably would have taken Watson 99. Gibson goes as well. Did we just take Dalvin Cook and call it a day at RB? I mean, I can't take Romeo Doubs. I can't take Odell Beckham Jr. over Dalvin Cook. If we take Evan Ingram, I'm still going to take 3 tight ends no matter what. So let's just go ahead. Let's take Dalvin Cook, pick 101. Call it a day at running back and hope that we get some wide receiver values that we like on the way back around. I mean, this issue is just the wide receivers went too early. I feel like we were kind of boxed out of the position. Definitely, I mean, we needed to go ahead and take Hopkins and Metcalf where we did, though, just considering the fact that, I mean, the wide receivers look so damn gross in the past few rounds. But Christian says 12-team redraft league where we have Hurts, Herbert, Javonte, Kupp, Ridley, Andrews at tight end, Flex Metcalf, and on the bench, Charbonnet, Gainwell, McKinnon, Deontay, Michael Thomas, Quentin Johnson. Punted running back, but pretty happy overall. How did I do? I mean, if this is a team where you only have one flex spot, beautiful. Team with only one flex spot, I mean, having the bookends of Jalen Hurts, Mark Andrews, still not really sacrificing too much in terms of overall wide receiver production. Really, the only weak spot is going to be that running back position, but when we have the elite level quarterback, elite level tight end, we can just roster as many running backs possible down there on the bench. Really like the team. Okay, so now at this point, we are needing to see wide receivers make it back to us, ladies and gentlemen. As many running backs that are going to go as possible. Nice to see Jalen Warren go here because he's not even one of these guys at the top of ADP, so they could end up pushing up some other guys later on. Cal says, rate my 10-team PPR league where we have 3 wide receivers, 2 flexes, and a super flex. Hurts, Tannehill, Garoppolo. Would like a better quarterback too, especially in 10-team league. Saquon, Hall, Sanders, White, Gibson, Lamb, Smith, Olave, DJ Moore, Dotson, Jamison Williams, Nico Collins. 3 tight ends I absolutely hate, my friend. You drop the 3rd tight end, go pick up literally any other position. Overall, I mean, I'm fine with the team. I just think that we're maybe a little bit weak at quarterback too. If we could go through and trade like Miles Sanders and Ryan Tannehill to get an upgrade at QB2, I'd like it. But overall, I think we don't really have to be doing anything but cutting the 3rd tight end. Now, Odell Beckham Jr. off 111, so he was one of the wide receivers that possibly we could have looked at. Let's move this back around. So we really can't even take RB here. Juju Smith-Schuster goes 112. Don't love to see it. That's Kim Take. Happy to see you out here with us, my man. But I do not like seeing you go Juju Smith-Schuster taking one of our wide receivers. What is this team doing? This team can't really go quarterback. They already have Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones. They go Marvin Mims. That's interesting. That team goes Nico Collins. So I guess we're actually going to take Evan Ingram 116. Getting Evan Ingram about 20 picks past ADP. We're still going to be able to take 3 tight ends. I understand we wanted to go wide receiver, but I mean, just generally nobody's going to get Evan Ingram at this kind of value. So for the love of God, Terry McLaurin, be healthy and come back. Please. And ladies and gentlemen, we are 2 likes away from hitting 500 likes in this live stream. So please, if you have not done so already, go down there, drop a like, be our 500 like in the live stream. Help us out. Okay, moving this over. Next question coming out from Ronfi says, Mint Javonte, who would you start first week? Need 1 running back, 1 flex. Javonte, Deion Jackson, DeAndre Swift, Rashad White, Kadarius Toney, Cortland Sutton, and Christian Watson. I'm going to go Christian Watson for the flex, and running back, we're going to go Javonte Williams. Have no idea what we're going to be getting with the split in Indianapolis between those guys. Okay. Now, Vexify says, hey, Mason, just drafted this 12-team PPR league where we have Dak, Barkley, James Cook, Gibson, Singletary, and Zeke. Wide receiver, we have Lamb, Keenan, London, Evans, Thomas, Zay Jones, and Mims. Tight end is Andrews. Let me know what you think. No, thank you so much, my man. And I don't like rostering this many wide receivers, but it looks like a deeper league overall, and it's a 12-team format. Really like the Dak Lamb stack, like the elite level tight end allowing us to roster so many wide receivers and running backs. Running back depth is a little shaky, but I mean, we're good at the top end. I like the team. I mean, there aren't really too many moves that we can be making either, to be honest. Okay, we have some wide receivers going, which is a little painful to see. If we were to go Rodgers, we would only draft 2 quarterbacks. He would pair up with Dalvin Cook. He was the quarterback we took with the team that won $100,000 alongside Mahomes. So maybe it's a sign. But Mostert goes. So instead, we will take Rodgers' wide receiver in Allen Lazard. We just simply really need wide receiver, right? I mean, we can find some of these quarterback options later on. It's not like not getting Rodgers here is going to be a super big deal one way or another. But just generally, we need anybody that can possibly give us a usable week at wide receiver. But Sam coming out says 12-team PPR double flex, pick 10. Want to start with an elite RB and wide receiver in the first 2 rounds. What should the draft strategy be in the next few rounds? Really, the issue is, in terms of talking about draft strategy rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, it's going to be so dependent on your overall league and what you see your league mates do, which is why I try to stray away from telling people exactly what they should be doing in those rounds. You should be staying flexible and taking the best value available. And you should be able to be in a position to do just that if you were to go, say, with a wide receiver and running back through the first 2. But Cassie says, happy BR 12-team league, pick 10, where we have Kupp, Pollard, Smith, Aaron Jones, Waller, Tua at quarterback. What are your thoughts? I mean, let's send up a prayer that Cooper Kupp comes back, my man. I personally am following you down that same path. If I get Cooper Kupp at the 1-2 turn, like as late as pick 10, 11, 12, I will go ahead and I will take Kupp. But I don't know. Obviously, it's shaky. Obviously, it's scary. Now, pick it off the board 134. We're still looking at another quarterback here, ladies and gentlemen, even though we have Mahomes. I mean, by no means are we having to go out there and make a play at quarterback right now, though, right? Jamison Williams off the board 135. I would have taken Jamison if you would have made it to us at 140. Schultz goes 136. Damian Harris off the board 137. Rashee Rice, who could have potentially been a stack for us with Mahomes, goes 138. Here, 140. I'm honestly probably not going to take MVS. I'll just go ahead and take Darnell Mooney instead. Darnell Mooney's been falling like a rock as of late in these drafts. I didn't take him a lot earlier in the offseason, so I feel a little more comfortable to take him now. Let's get him here. Smooth this around. And Cassie coming out says, happy BR 12-team league, pick 10. We have, no, we already answered that one. Camp coming out says, I'm about to draft in a 14-team one flex league, and I have the number one pick. Anything we need to focus in on? Never did a 14-team league before. Love the content. Keep grinding. No, thank you so much, my man. Yeah, so in general, if it's going to be a 14-team format, it's going to be a little bit harder to find running back, wide receiver depth options that we like later on, which is why I would almost say the exact opposite of like a 10-team league with only one flex. Whereas in a 14-team league, I'm going to be pushing down pushing down tight ends and the elite level QBs. Now, of course, pick 28, 29. If you can still get Mahomes, if you can still get Allen, if you can still get Jalen Hurts, go ahead and pull the trigger. But like, I'm not going to be interested in like Mark Andrews at that point, because it is going to be harder for us to find those running backs and wide receiver values later on. Okay, so we have Van Jefferson, Thielen, Tyler Higbee all off the board. Okay, so let's swing this back around. It's going to be very hard for us to take running back, regardless of whatever we think about the Ezekiel Elliott, Roschon Johnson value. We already have Bijan, Pierce, Akers, Pacheco, Dalvin Cook. So we will go ahead and just look QB, wide receiver, tight end. In terms of pairing up Russ, we don't have Sutton. We don't have Judy. Russell Wilson wouldn't really make a lot of sense unless we are just getting him at an absolute absurd price point. Jordan Love, we don't have any Packers. Ever it goes. So we're just going to go ahead. We will take Marquez Valdez-Scantling, pair him up with Patrick Mahomes, hopefully get a couple spike weeks from him. Obviously, when you're taking MVS, you're never assuming that he's going to turn out to be like a 20% team target share level player. You're saying, okay, he's a vertical option in the Kansas City Chiefs offense. Maybe he has value in that role. But DeMonte says 10-team full BBR where we have Lawrence, Pollard, Walker, Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Waller, Godwin, James Cook, Drake London, Cortland Sutton, Cam Akers, I believe Jamal or Jameson. I don't know. When y'all say Jay Williams, y'all got to clarify for me. Zay Jones, Anthony Richardson, am I good? I think we're good if we can sell Anthony Richardson once he breaks out. While at the same time, if that's going to be Jamal Williams, I think we're in a great spot. Jameson Williams, if you're rostering him in this kind of league with these wide receivers at the very top, where you can't put him on your IR, then at that point, I'd probably go ahead and look to cut Jameson Williams. But outside of that, I think you're good, my friend. Let's move this over. Roschon Johnson, Ezekiel Elliott off 151, 153. Good for us to see those guys off the board, right? But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting into another $350 draft after this. If you want to join us, you can find the link to Underdog in the live chat description section, comment section. Don't join a $350 draft with us if you are new to Underdog. Definitely would recommend you just stay into like the $5 practice drafts. But we're still going to be streaming these drafts every single night until the season starts. And of course, if you want to join a draft with us, you can find a link to Underdog Fantasy in the live chat, in the description section, in the comment section. Promo code FLOCK, you're going to get a 100% deposit match up to $100 on Underdog. You're also going to get our 2023 fantasy football rankings, a free trial to flockfantasy.com where you can find our 2023 fantasy football draft guide. And only with promo code FLOCK are you going to be getting a ridiculous, I've literally never seen it before, 3 pick'ems on Underdog week 1. Patrick Mahomes site-wide pick'em, more than less than half a total yard against the Lions week 1. Josh Allen on Monday night, promo code FLOCK exclusive pick'em against the Jets week 1, more than less than half a passing yard. And if you're new to Underdog, also an additional mystery pick'em special on top of all. I've never seen them do 2 pick'ems in the same week, let alone 3. So definitely recommend y'all taking advantage of that when you still can. Okay, but Jaden Reed goes 162. We're still only really looking at tight ends, quarterback, wide receiver here. Sam Howell makes sense to pair up with Terry McLaurin if we really wanted to. Now, the question is, do we like the value of Sam Howell as quarterback 23 in comparison to some of these other guys we can get later on? Like it a little bit more now that our tight end goes off the board. Quarterback later, stacking options. We can go Tannehill, pair him up with DeAndre Hopkins. And that's literally it. So we will just go ahead and take Sam Howell. I mean, Sam Howell looked pretty good in the preseason. Maybe he has some rushing upside. So we'll just get him when we can. It makes sense to pair him up with McLaurin. But let me move this over. Joey coming out says 12-team PPR, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex where we have Watson stacked with Amari. Also Garrett Wilson, Pickens, Gabe Davis, Nico, Bijan, Gibbs, Rashad White with Waller. Any suggestions? No, I really like the balance between wide receiver running back here. The only thing I'd say is I still prefer Hawkinson. I still prefer Kittle over Waller. So I personally would look to go ahead and sell Waller if we could get like TJ Hawkinson in return. I think that'd make a lot of sense, but not something you have to do. And says thoughts on the 20-team league. PBR keeper with return yards. Hurts, Pickett, Etienne, Harris, Chuba Hubbard, Sean Tucker, Chris Rodriguez. I want to say you could have better running backs on the bottom end. I think Sean Tucker has no option. I mean, no possibility. Chris Rodriguez, no possibility to be anything this year. But at the same time, it's a 20-team league. This is what you're dealing with. Waddle, Smith, Deontay, Mims, Puka, and Njoku, and Hunter Henry. The main thing is, can we churn and somehow find a running back off the waiver wire? If we can somehow find a running back off the waiver wire, we're going to be in a phenomenal spot where we have great wide receivers. We have an elite level quarterback. It just comes down to, can we find an RB2? Which obviously is going to be difficult to do in a 20-team league, but I'd imagine it's probably a better looking 20-team roster than the vast majority of people in our league. Now we have a bunch of tight ends going off the board, which is not good for us at all, ladies and gentlemen. We still need 2 more tight ends. We did get Evan Ingram at pick 116 in this draft, but with it being best ball, especially a smaller field, higher stakes tournament, we definitely want to be grabbing 3 of those bad boys. Actually, we're not even looking at quarterback anymore. We are just wide receiver and tight end. We can be bumping up Curtis Samuel considering the fact that we take Sam Howell here and we have McLaurin to go for the double stack. Now, Nigo says 12-team PPR 2 flex, so I go CMC, Hurts, and Ridley, or CMC, Waddle, Ridley, and then go for like Herbert with my 5th pick. I'm gonna go CMC, Hurts, Ridley, my man. 6-point passing touchdown format. I think maybe Herbert and Hurts are a little bit closer, but 4-point passing touchdown. Just give me the elite rushing ceiling that you have with Jalen Hurts. Okay, we're going to... Obviously, the Cardinals are just so damn bad. Let's just go ahead. Let's get Curtis Samuel double stack with Terry McLaurin and Sam Howell. Let's pass on Rondale Moore. The Cardinals just look horrendous this next season, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, they look like they'll be by far and away the worst team in the NFL. Now, Ron Feast... Oh, no, we already answered that one for him. WJ says 10-team PBR, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. Drafted Chase, Pollard, Hurts, Gibbs, Amari, London, Deontay, Dobbins, Dotson, Pat Freiermuth, Zach Charbonnet, Gabe Davis, 2, and Elijah Mitchell. Okay, so we just have a ridiculous amount of depth here for this format. Really like the team overall, but if we can package like a wide receiver 2 like Drake London and Pat Freiermuth to get like TJ Hawkinson, I think it make a lot of sense just for the format that you're playing in. But happy to see you, Gilbert. Gilbert out here says 12-team PBR, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flexes. Just found out I have the number 2 pick. I'm a Falcons fan and want to take Bijan. Go for the hero RB strategy. Is it irresponsible for me to pick and pass on Chase? Second pick, are we going to go wide receiver or quarterback? So I would say in general, my man, if you were like in that league that we just looked at previously, right? 10 teams, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Then go get your guy. If you really want Bijan Robinson, sure, take him at 2. And you know, my man, I am also a big-time Bijan guy. But I would say if it's a league where you can start up to 4 wide receivers and it's a full PPR format, in that kind of format, it's going to be almost impossible to get away from Jamar Chase over Bijan Robinson. I think you're going to have to go ahead. I think you're going to have to take Jamar Chase, my friend. I think you honestly have to. But Mega Alpha Supreme says 10-team PBR redraft, 1 flex. where we have Hurts, St. Brown, Ridley, CMC, Pierce, Madison, Goddard, Evans, Hollywood, Pickens, Flowers, Charbonnet, Mostert. How's the team? Who to flex week 1? Love the show. I love the team overall, my man. Now, the question who to flex is going to be a little bit difficult. I mean, you have great depth options. I mean, between Alexander Madison, Mike Evans, George Pickens, Raheem Mostert, I don't really think you could go wrong. Now, because how strong we are top to bottom, plus the fact that we only get to flex one guy, I think Raheem Mostert is in a great spot, way better than I would have ever imagined going into this next season. But he is still someone that fundamentally has a little bit of a cap ceiling where I would go ahead and look to sell him in a format like that, because even with everything going right for him, he's still not getting into our starting lineup. And by the time we get the injuries and the bye weeks where depth's going to be a little bit more important, a little harder to come by, then at that point, we don't even know if we are going to be able to start him. So, yeah, I would say in general, I'm just going to go ahead and see if we could possibly like patch together Mostert, Hollywood, get back a wide receiver that we like a little more. Let's smooth this over. We have Justin Ross off the board, 183. So far, quarterback, we have Patrick Mahomes, Sam Howell in this league. Running back, we have Bijan, Pierce, Akers, Pacheco, Dalvin. Wide receiver, we have Metcalf, Hopkins, McLaurin, Lazard, Mooney, MVS, Curtis Samuel. And tight end, we have Evan Ingram. Okay. What are you giving us here? Michael Mayer goes 186. We're going to make our picks, and then we're going to go ahead and bounce into the next $350 draft, ladies and gentlemen. So do not go anywhere. We're going to go Hunter Henry here, 188. Obviously, the door was open with the Mike Gesicki injury that you had earlier this offseason. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens. Okay. But Low Rise coming out says 12-team PBR2 keeper league. Drafted 8th with Bijan, Lamb, Andrews, Olave, Lawrence, Watson, Kirk, Watson, Kincaid, Bateman, Devon A-Chain, Jamison Williams. Oh my gosh, this is a beautiful team. Like the fact that we have Olave with those top 3 guys is just nuts. Looks like we have 2 round 1 picks and another 2 round 3 picks. The only thing I would say is if we're in a spot where we could potentially go through and sell like Deshaun Watson in a package with Dalton Kincaid and get a better tight end in return, we're going to do it. Kincaid's tough because you don't know if you're going to be able to start him at the beginning of the year. Now, Enoch coming out says, honest opinion, how's the team at 2? Let's go ahead. Let's check this out. Chase Smith, Jacobs out the gate, not going to complain with at all. You couldn't take an elite level quarterback. I think it makes sense to go Burrow there, 47, to stack with Jamar Chase. Something I like as well. Hawkinson, 50. James Cook, Jonathan Taylor. I'm fine Taylor round 7, even in this tournament. Thomas, Tony. Wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. P. Ryan. Boyd, love the Boyd pick. I like the team a lot, my friend. I really do. I'd probably go 3 quarterbacks if like Jimmy G, Burrow are top 2, and probably go 3 tight ends, honestly, if Hawkinson and Irv Smith Jr. are bottom 2, just because it's not like Best Ball Mania. It's not a super large field contest, and instead, you don't want a little bit of a higher median projection. At least that's what I would do. But we're going to be taking a 3rd tight end as well. This team looks like they're most likely to be taking a tight end. They only have Andrews. So maybe they only go 1 tight end. Damn it. They took Conklin. I hate, like, I'm not taking Likely. I'm not taking Otten. I'm not taking Zach Ertz. All these wide receivers tight ends are gross, though. What about a quarterback? No, none of these quarterbacks really make sense. F it. We'll take Isaiah Likely, make the grossest pick ever, and then we'll go ahead and we'll take a wide receiver with our last one. But let's go ahead and let's get into our next draft here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh, that was so gross getting sniped on Tyler Conklin. But we're going to be trying to get into another $350 Rottweiler draft on Underdog. There are 7 spots open if y'all want to get into this draft with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see if we can fill it. If not, all good. We will go ahead and we will get a $25 draft going. But let's see. 6 spots open. Looks like it's going a little slow, so we will just go ahead. We'll leave this, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead. We're going to hop into a $25 Best Ball Mania draft on Underdog. Yeah, $25 buy-in, $50 million prize pool, $3 million for first place. The largest fantasy football tournament on this planet. Let's go ahead and let's get in this bad boy. Where are we at? We've had 2 pretty early picks on the live stream today. So, of course, naturally, they have to send us all the way to the back end. They have to give us pick 11 here. And honestly, I feel like the first 2 drafts we did put us in such a tough spot overall that I am completely fine getting sent to the back. Like, send me to pick 11. We'll make it work. And hopefully, we have a start that we like here. Okay. Now, Aerosite coming out. Happy to see it. Says, hey, Mason, your flock ADP list helped me out in my Yahoo 12-team app PPR league. Fields, Diggs, Higgins, Bijan, Javonte, and Watson. The bench, Hall, Mike Williams, Zach Charbonnet, Burks, Zeke, Jalen Warren. Literal perfect team. Elite quarterback, elite tight end, primarily focusing on running backs, wide receivers with upside down there on the bench. We still have an elite wide receiver with Diggs. We have an elite running back with Bijan. We haven't really sacrificed in either position. That is a nasty team for a 12-team league. I'm sorry. I wish we had some moves for you, my man, but I don't have anything. Maybe when Breece Hall comes back, we make a 2-for-1 deal elsewhere to get an upgrade in the starting lineup. But by no means is that something we have to do right now. That is a beautiful team. But just Sherman coming out says 12-team app PPR where we have 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex. Lawrence, Eckler, Gibbs, Hall, Olave, London, year 2 tight end, Tennessee, Zeke, McKinnon, Pickens, Jameson, Musgrave, JSN. How does it look? Tight ends gross, and specifically in this league, if we only have 1 flex spot, I would love to get an upgrade at tight end. I'd be willing to pay up for it. I would love to trade like George Pickens and our starting tight end to see if we can get like George Kittle, TJ Hawkinson, Darren Waller, really any tight end in that tier. Okay. Let's smooth this over. And Joshua says 12-team PPR, 3 wide receivers and a flex, was offered the 207 and 407 for my 103. Hell no, we're not doing this. Would basically be trading like Tyreek Hill or Christian McCaffrey for Olave/Waddle and Watson/London. No, you don't want to be doing this. No, the last thing you want to be doing is trading back from round 1, my friend. But let's move this over. And what are we getting here at 11? We'll go ahead. We'll take A.J. Brown. Start us off with an elite level wide receiver. And ladies and gentlemen, we are about to hit 600 likes on this live stream. We are 1 like away from hitting 600. So please, if you have not done so already, go down there, drop that like. I mean, hell, I am pumped to get A.J. Brown and CeeDee Lamb here at the turn. Let's freaking go. Let's go. And Joshua says 12-team PPR, 3 wide receivers and a flex. No, we already answered that one. Sorry. And real quick, holy crap, we have a $50 dono coming out from Lego Batman. My man, thank you so much for being a long time member of the flock. If y'all don't know, Lego Batman has been out with us for a very, very long time. Super happy to see you, my man. And the perfect time where we are getting a phenomenal value here at the 1-2 turn. Love to see it. Thank you so much. Let's move this over. And Barkley, Henry. So that team there at 7 decides to go with the Kelsey Mahomes start out the gate in the first and second rounds. Okay, but Bun says 12-team PPR, pick 11, Two options at keeper, Walker or Godwin. Going Walker. Do I go with the double hero RB and keep Godwin, or traditional wide receiver / running back and keep Walker? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to be keeping Kenneth Walker, my friend. Don't exactly know what we're asking with the second part. I think you keep Kenneth Walker. Don't know who other keeper is. Then we take best player available in the draft. Devin says, I did the weekly winners tournament on Underdog. Got Lawrence, Eckler, Jacobs, Sanders, Devonta Smith, Amari, Brandon Cooks, and Evan Ingram. Very interesting. The thing you have to keep in mind with like the weekly winners draft on Underdog is that's a tournament that's been open for months. So there were a lot of teams that were able to get like Josh Jacobs in round 3. So like that kind of tournament in particular in Underdog, I don't love taking Jacobs round 2. That's where we had to get him. But Noah says got Burrow, Chase, Olave, Christian Watson, Amari, Jacobs, White, Madison, Dalvin, and Njoku. 10 team. Happy BR. Glad to be back with you, my boy. Yes, Noah's also been with us for years. Happy to see him, my man. Love the Burrow, Chase stack. I like that we're not really sacrificing too much when it comes to RB1. We still have great wide receiver production as well. Really, the only thing I'd say is, I mean, if we are in a spot where you only have one flex, it would be interesting to trade like Madison and Njoku, see if we can get Hawkinson, but not something we have to do. Now, Higgins off the board at 25. So you did have another elite level quarterback in Jalen Hurts going off the board at 20. So yeah, you are seeing in pretty much the majority of these drafts tonight on the stream, at least, that these elite level quarterbacks are getting pushed up. Let's see. I mean, we have such a balanced start here going with AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb out the gate that, I mean, really we can go in so many different directions at 35. Like, we're in a really good spot overall. Okay. But Marco says, 10-team league with only one flex. Lawrence, Chubb, Walker, Hill, Olave, and Andrews. Love the elite level tight end. If we have like a depth wide receiver that we could package with Lawrence and get to Lamar, especially in this kind of format, and pair him up with Andrews, that would be awesome. Now, Gibbs off the board, 29. Honestly, wouldn't be super pumped to have Jahmyr Gibbs making it to us at 35, to be honest. Like, there were a couple different other names that I would probably prefer at values. Not going to complain, of course, if Gibbs makes it to us there, but not necessarily something we need. Metcalf, Amari, both off the board, 30, 31. Lamar goes 32, just to piss me off. Oh, God, give me my guy. Give me Lamar. Etienne goes 33. Okay, so they're taking all of our guys. They're going Lamar. They're going Etienne. They're taking everybody I love, leaving us with nothing. We will go ahead and we'll take Ramondre Stevenson, 35. Do I love it? No, not at all. I'd way rather have Lamar Jackson. It's not even that close for me either. So I generally don't take a lot of Mixon at this price because there are other teams at Best Ball Mania that were able to get him round 6, round 7, round 5. So let's not break that rule now. Let's just go ahead and let's just get Christian Watson. Let's keep our flexibility. We know these wide receivers are going to get pushed up in underdog drafts. Let's send it. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all want to get into an underdog draft with us, we are still doing these every single night on the live stream until the season starts. If you sign up to Underdog with promo code FLOCK, they're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. Plus, you're going to get our 2023 fantasy football rankings, a free trial to flockfantasy.com, where you can find our 2023 fantasy football draft guide. They're best ball drafts, so no time commitment at all during the season. So I drafted 700 teams that won $150,000 in underdog drafts last year. And if you sign up to Underdog with promo code, and only with promo code FLOCK, are you going to get 3 pick'ems week 1. I've literally never seen Underdog do 2 exclusive pick'ems the same week. And somehow they have the site-wide Mahomes more than less than half a total yard against the Lions week 1. Then on top of that, we have an exclusive promo code FLOCK pick'em. Josh Allen more than less than half a passing yard against the Jets Monday night. And then if you are new to Underdog, a new mystery pick'em for you on top of that. I've never seen them do 2 in the same week, but now they have 3 in the same week. So please make sure y'all are taking advantage of that while you can. But Double In coming out says, rate the team in a 10-team at PPR 3-keeper league where we start 2 flexes, Lamar, Saquon, Jacobs, so elite level running backs and elite level quarterback, Ridley, Amari, so we're not really sacrificing anything at wide receiver. No idea how the hell we have Hawkinson here as well. Mike Williams, Montgomery, and then on the bench, Penny, Gibson, Warren, Bigsby, Oda. This is the perfect bench. Okay, the starting lineup everybody knows is great. Nobody needs to really look at that. But I just want everybody to look at this bench. And let me point out what makes this bench so damn good from a strategy perspective. We are not rostering guys that are going to be dead spots on our roster for the first month of the season. You roster Jalen Hyatt. What does Jalen Hyatt do at the beginning of the year to make you excited versus make you cut him? Nothing. He's probably not getting on the field. He's probably not going to do anything. So naturally, you can't really cut him because you know he's not going to do anything early on. But at the same time, you're not really going to get any upside from him early in the season. However, these other guys, Odell Beckham Jr., we can see what his role is right away week 1. And if he doesn't have the role, you cut him. No harm, no foul, you move on. Rashad Penny, we see his role week 1. If it's not good, you cut him, you move on. No harm, no foul. Look for the waiver wire. Antonio Gibson, kind of say the same thing. So across the board, those are the players that you were wanting to roster. You're wanting to roster those guys that are going to give you the clarity early in the season to make waiver wire moves. Perfect, my man. I think that's awesome. Now, Bimbat Dallas says, half point per carry, PPR, any moves. Lawrence, Bijan, Pollard, A.J. Brown, Jerry Jeudy, Sky Moore, Andrews, Dobbins. On the bench, Bigsby, Charbonnet, Hunt, Bateman, Judy, Kincaid. Generally, I think we just need to be going through and trying to get as many rushers as possible in the lineup. I would love to trade Lawrence for Justin Fields in a format like this. If we could package together, say, like Trevor Lawrence and Jerry Jeudy, or Trevor Lawrence and Dalton Kincaid and get Justin Fields, I think that makes so much sense because in a point per carry league, Justin Fields is actually going to lap Lawrence with points. Zach says, loved your videos today, my man. Thank you. I have a 10-team auction redraft tomorrow. Full PPR super flex with 2 flex spots. Is the studs and duds strategy the right move? Plus take 2 top quarterbacks. Yes, obviously we want to be very flexible in terms of our overall strategy, but in a redraft auction league, you're definitely wanting to go with the studs and duds approach, whereas obviously in like a dynasty format, maybe you want a more well-balanced team top to bottom. But yeah, if you could go through and get like, say, spend 45% of your budget and get Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, and then just kind of fill it out with just a duds through the rest and work the waiver wire, I actually wouldn't mind that at all. It's going to put you in a tough spot at the beginning of the year. But that's where the long-term upside may be. Jonathan Taylor off 53. You have Drake London going 54. I don't know the last time I saw Drake London fall this far in an underdog draft. Obviously, in like your regular redraft format, you can expect that London possibly falls this far, but in an underdog draft, it pretty much never makes it here to the end of the 5th. Okay. Let's move this over. Kirk goes 57. Edgardo coming out says, advice, thoughts, 10-team league. We have Allen quarterback, Bijan, ETN running backs with Jameson, Jonathan Taylor. This is exactly where you want Taylor. I mean, if you look, Diggs, Watson, wide receiver. We don't need up a wide receiver. We have Hawkinson at tight end. I actually really like this team, and I really like the Jonathan Taylor pick as well, because if Jonathan Taylor's just like on your bench, you're like, yeah, I don't really care about this guy. I mean, he can come back. He doesn't need to. It's kind of whatever. Then you're in such a position of power overall that, I mean, really it's just gravy if you get anything from JT. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Dameon Pierce here, 59. Now, definitely you've seen cheaper Dameon Pierce before earlier this offseason, but not too big of a deal. I mean, Lawrence doesn't stack with any of these options for us. I took Alexander Madison in a ton of underdog drafts earlier this offseason, but that was when Dalvin was still on the team and Madison was a lot cheaper. So we'll go ahead. We will take J.K. Dobbins here, 62. Now, the tough spot about this in underdog drafts is if you're only going wide receiver running back through like the first 6, 7, 8 rounds, you're going to be in a spot where you maybe have to draft 3 tight ends and 3 quarterbacks, which is never where you want to be. Never. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. Lane says in a 10-team ESPN, 3 wide receivers, 2 flex. Hopefully we're loaded up with wide receivers. Hurts, CMC, Stevenson, St. Brown, DJ Moore, Lockett, Brandon Cooks, David Montgomery. And we also have Andrews. We have Andrews as well, where we have Jalen Hurts, Andrews bookending it, and we can just roster as many high upside wide receivers as possible. I'd really like that, but we really need to be focusing on wide receiver depth in a league where we can start up to 5 wide receivers on a week-to-week perspective. Definitely very different than like your league where you only start 2 wide receivers in a flex. Now, Truth coming out says 10-team PPR, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and 3 flexes. We have Kirk, Eckler, Stevenson, St. Brown, Amari, Schultz, Connor, Miles Sanders, Dotson, Montgomery, White, Judy, Thielen, Moore, and Dulcich on the bench. Go ahead. Honestly, I'd probably look for a better... Actually, no, we can't do that. You have 3 flexes. I actually think this team's fine. It's just a weird construction looking at it on the surface, but I think you did optimize for the fact that you have 3 flex spots here. I mean, in that kind of format, we want to be punting tight end, so it's kind of fine to see a garbage tight end option. Now, Isaiah says Watson, DJ Moore, Lockett, Godwin, Dobbins, Brian Robinson. Pick 2 for wide receiver 2 in a flex position week 1. Happy BR redraft 10-team league. Okay. Christian Watson, definitely one of these options. I think we go Tyler Lockett if JSN misses. And if JSN plays, we go DJ Moore. Yeah, DJ Moore against the Packers. Also just a fun play, right? You play both guys in the same game. Evan says 10-team PBR, 2 wide receivers and a flex. Pick 104. Went Kelsey, Chubb, Mahomes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Amari, Hall, Allen, Godwin. See, this is the thing. In this format, you still get wide receivers in the middle rounds. You're able to go Kelsey, Mahomes with Nick Chubb and still not even be lacking at wide receiver. Great team. Yeah, good luck this year, my friend. And yeah, that's why in that 10-team league with only 2 wide receivers and 1 flex, we tell people to go get that elite level quarterback and tight end because you're still going to get wide receiver values later on. Okay, Akers goes 75. Let's swing this back around. So running back, we have Stevenson, Pierce, Dobbins. Wide receiver, we have A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, and Christian Watson. I would have liked Miles Sanders making it to us. I would have liked Michael Pittman making it to us. Tony says 12-team PBR, Geno, Bijan, Gibbs, Chubb, Hawk, Olave, Dotson, Pittman, Sutton, Rice, Devon Achane, Pittman, Quentin, Dulcich. Trade Hawkinson for Christian Watson or for a better... No, hell no. You don't want to be doing that. You're in a great spot. Only thing I'd say is we probably roster 2 quarterbacks if Geno Smith is our starter and probably play the matchups there between the 2. Javonte Williams off the board, 79. Alvin Kamara goes 80. Okay. What are we getting here? I mean, y'all know who I want. I don't know if we get him. I don't know if he does a lot from our roster construction perspective either. We're going to go Goddard. I think Goddard outscores all the wide receivers in this range. Now, the issue with taking Dallas Goddard is I don't know if we can draft him and then say, okay, we're only taking 2 tight ends, right? I mean, unless we get a tight end that we really like making him back around to us at the 9-10 turn. Montgomery going 84 is a player I would have been excited about. Cortland Sutton off the board as well. So at this point, I think we go Brandon Cooks. We pair up CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks to bet on the Dallas offense. We pair up A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert to bet on the Eagles offense. We're going to be looking at Dak Prescott on the way back around. Really comes down to, can we get another tight end where we feel comfortable only drafting 2 tight ends? That way we can draft 3 quarterbacks. So going back to what we were talking about previously, when you go 6 rounds in without a tight end or a quarterback in these underdog drafts, it gets tough from a construction perspective. But now Drew coming out says, drafted on ESPN and got CMC, Cup, Allen, Stevenson, Amari, Watson, London, Dobbins. Can't draft on Underdog since I'm 20 in Arizona. Where should I draft that'll be more competition? Oh, well, beautiful team. I'll say that. I don't know. If you can't draft on Underdog because you're 20 in Arizona, in most places you have to be 18 to be Underdog. I guess Arizona's 21. What would y'all have? Can you do DK best ball drafts? Can you do drafters best ball drafts? Those would be that's what I would say if you can't do an underdog draft, my friend. Is anybody in Arizona that's from the ages 18 through 20 that can't do underdog drafts but can do something else? Let me know. B says, reach for players on ESPN using Underdog ADP. I would definitely say Underdog ADP is going to be way sharper than ESPN ADP. So if you're going to be going through your draft and in your ESPN draft, you go, okay, yeah, I want a wide receiver. Then you look at Underdog ADP and you say, okay, this is the best guy. Yeah, you can use that. I actually put out a consensus ADP list on flockfantasy.com where you can see the ADP from every major site: Sleeper, Underdog, FFPC, ESPN, Yahoo, and NFL Fantasy. And we highlighted the best values. The players' best value per platform versus worst value per platform to really help you out if you're like in an ESPN draft or a sleeper draft, where the hell you're drafting. So if you have access to that, I would definitely check that out, my friend. Okay. Now, DeAndre Swift off the board, 96. Antonio Gibson goes 97. C. Steph says 14-team pick 6, full PBR, 4-point passing touchdown league. We're going to start one running back. How does the strategy change with one running back? Do we go Bijan, try for an elite level quarterback? Hell yeah, try for an elite level quarterback here in rounds 2 or 3. And honestly, I don't go Bijan. I would go Tyreek over Bijan, even in a 14-team league, if you only have to start one running back. But Teddy says 12-team PBR, Herbert, CMC, Sanders, Waddle, Ridley, Higbee, Deontay, and Lockett. Well-balanced team. I'd like to trade Lockett for like Mike Williams if we can, to stack with Justin Herbert or Keenan Allen. But just one of those Chargers receivers. Okay, Brian Robinson, Juju Smith-Schuster, both off the board. Let's see what happens here. Super interesting turn. I think that our entire draft comes down to our next 2 picks. I have a feeling that our entire draft comes down to our next 2 picks. Pat Fryby, definitely someone that I would have looked at. Benny says, should I draft Bijan at 1 in an 8-team league, assuming CMC, Chase, and Jefferson are going to be kept? I would say no. 8-team league, go Kelsey. Real Jagger says, tight end premium, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Is Kelsey worth the 101? Yes. Only 1 flex spot, probably. Booty Madon says, should I trade Mahomes and Keenan for Lamar and a better running back? Also, how can I submit my lineup to you on Discord? I have more depth at wide receiver anyways. So link your flockfantasy.com account with your Discord account by clicking the link on either your account page, or you'll just see it at the top of the site on flockfantasy.com. My friend, then send me a screenshot on, oh my gosh, I'm sorry that we were going through and a little distracted. We got Deshaun Watson 107, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get Deshaun Watson and most likely pair him. Get Dak Prescott to pair up with Lamb and Brandon Cooks. If not, we'll go David Njoku to pair up with Deshaun Watson. But oh my gosh, this is exactly what we are looking for. This is the literal dream. This is perfect. This could win us $3 million. I love this team. Dad goes, so yeah, I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. We'll go ahead and we'll take David Njoku. Only have to take 2 tight ends. Get Watson paired up with, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Oh, this is beautiful. I would say in general, if it's a 4-point passing touchdown format, I'm fine doing this trade, my friend. If you have, if you're getting a great running back in return. But yeah, just send it in the roster submissions tab once you've linked your account, my friend. But Adam says, first time doing a 10-team super flex. Any advice besides the obvious bumping quarterbacks up early? Quarterback 3 in your 10-team super flex league is going to be super easy to come by. Really, the only guys that you want to dramatically be bumping up are going to be the elite level players. Just if you do the math, the supply and demand of a 10-team league, going to be a lot easier to get that quarterback 3 than like a 12-team super flex format. But after we go David Njoku, Daniel Jones, Tank Bigsby both off the board. I freaking love this team. I think maybe you could make an argument that it would have been a little bit better if we would have had, say, Dak Prescott making it to us 110 rather than David Njoku. But regardless, it's just kind of personal preference. We wanted to be in a position where we didn't have to draft 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends. Now we don't have to draft 3 tight ends with David Njoku and Dallas Goedert. Oh, this is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Odell goes 114. Save Jones off the board as well. But Francis says ESPN 12-team map PBR, 2 wide receivers and 2 flex. I have Hurts, Jefferson, Olave, Walker, Madison, Pacheco, Swift, Gabe Davis, Greg Dulcich. What are your thoughts? General, I'd like a tight end upgrade if we can get him, but because it's a 2 flex league, I'm fine with it. If it was a 1 flex league, I'd say you have to upgrade tight ends, but no, I think you're going to be good with that squad, my friend. Joe says 8-team league, 1 flex, happy to be our 3rd pick. Is it smart to pass on Kelsey as the first pick for someone like CMC? And they get, no, honestly, 8-team league with 1 flex, just get Travis Kelsey. I mean, everybody's going to be able to find running backs and wide receiver values in that draft. Just get the advantage where you can still do it. Yereban says in a 10-team super flex, we have Herbert, Tua, Ritter, Gibbs, Dobbins, James Cook, Elijah Mitchell, Bigsby. Oh, thank God we have the wide receivers. Hill, Allen, Watson, Gabe Davis, and we have Andrews. Really worried when we were looking at those running backs, but as long as we can roster as many running backs as possible to hopefully get that sorted out. And yeah, we have Tua stacked with Tyreek. We have Justin Herbert stacked with Keenan Allen. We have the elite tight end. I like it. Lane says, my bench is Michael Thomas, Bateman, Gibbs, Elijah Moore, and Elijah Mitchell in case CMC goes down. Okay, let's go back and pull up Lane's team again. Okay, it's nice knowing that we have this additional depth, considering the fact that it's a league where we can start up to 5 wide receivers. Honestly, in that format, the depth's going to matter a lot. Okay. This around. Devon A-Chain goes 122. A-Chain, obviously a running back that's way more appealing now, considering what you have with the Jeff Wilson injury, while on top of that, Jonathan Taylor's still in Indy. Turtle Gets Body says 10-team, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex. I start with Eckler and CMC as my keepers in the first 2 rounds. I drop back to back. Do I go Cooper and Keenan or Lamar and Andrews? Lamar and Andrews. If it was like a 12, 14-team league, maybe it'd be a little bit different. But a 10-team league, you're still going to be able to get the wide receiver values later. I love that. If you start off with freaking CMC, Austin Eckler, Lamar, and Andrews, RIP the rest of your league. Porter says 20-team league, 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. Who should I target round 1 with pick 10? Is quarterback crazy? It depends on what your league mates do before you. If you see like Mahomes and Allen go, and it's like, okay, do I take Jalen Hurts here at pick 10 or a gamble that a quarterback makes it back around to us in round 2? You may see a run on quarterback, so you don't know. So it's very dependent on your exact league. I would say you just really want to stay flexible in a 20-team draft. And you kind of need to read the room, and you need to be making adjustments based off that. It's really nice that you only have to start 1 running back, though, and you're not going to be forced to go through and start 2. If you had to start 2, it'd get ugly. Okay, Pitty goes, so we can't take Dalton Kincaid, so, I mean, we're put in a little bit of a unique situation here, right, where we're only looking at quarterback, running back, wide receiver, when we have Dallas Goedert and David Njoku at tight ends. Kincaid goes, that's good for us. So we're going to go ahead. We will take Jamison Williams. I like Jamison Williams a little bit more here in Best Ball Mania because we are just trying to optimize for weeks 15, 16, 17. Goff goes 132 with Sam Laporta. And do we just go ahead and take another wide receiver? Yeah, we'll just take Jacoby Myers, right? You get someone to cover up for Jamison early on in the season. I love this team. Oh my gosh. It's a beautiful squad. Like just getting that value on Deshaun Watson. Correlation we have throughout the team is insane as well. Roster construction, I really like. I just like this team top to bottom. Okay. Let's move this down. And FFL says 18 PPR where we have Lamar, Walker, Pollard, Waller, Lamb, Hill, Olave, Garrett Wilson. Great team. The only thing I'd say is if we have like a bench wide receiver like Keenan Allen, if we can package like Keenan and Waller and go get like a Mark Andrews to pair up with Lamar Jackson in the 8-team league where depth's not going to matter too much, I would love that. But Joey, longtime member of the Flog, just broke down his team on flogfantasy.com, says, Hey, Mason, got a 14-team redraft tomorrow on ESPN. What advice do you have for me? And also, thanks for rating my 14-team Superflex on Discord. Yeah, Joey in a 14-team Superflex Dynasty League had like 3 elite level quarterbacks. Like you said, like, yeah, I got pick 9, I got pick 10. I was like, oh, okay, well, this guy's going to be just completely screwed. And then somehow he had like Burrow make it to him. So, my man, great team. And if it's a 14-team draft, similar to what we were saying in the 20-team draft, it's very hard to be super rigid going in, right? You can't really put yourself in a position where you say, okay, I need to take running back out the gate, or I need to go running back, wide receiver. I need to go wide receiver. You stay flexible, push tight ends down a bit because wide receiver, running back depth is going to be hard to come by later on, and really just try to read the room with what your other league mates are doing. But Aaron says, hey, Mason, in a 12-team full PBR 6 point per touchdown league, 3 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex, drafted Mahomes, Tyreek, Olave. Okay, this is what we wanted to do in a full PBR league with 3 wide receivers starting. Godwin, Goddard, Ramadre, Madison. I'm actually surprised to see the running backs. Sky Moore stacking with Mahomes. Burks, Johnston, Elijah Mitchell. Love the team. I don't think we see any trades right now. If we get an opportunity where Treylon Burks is back and healthy and Quentin Johnston breaks out, then at that point, maybe we can be looking to make a deal. But until then, we're just kind of sitting on those guys and hoping that one of them breaks out, right? But Gabbard coming out says 12-team PBR where we have 1 flex, 6-point passing touchdown league. Burrow, Bijan, Adams, Montgomery, Hopkins, Hawkinson, and Ayuk. What are your thoughts? Okay, I have no idea how we got Bijan and Adams on the same team. That's the main thought I have. We have a great tight end, great quarterback. I'd like to have Burrow stacked up. We could trade like Hopkins in a small piece to get T. Higgins. I think that makes sense. FFL, I believe we already answered this. I'm sorry, my friend. And Albert says, do I trade Cup and Swift for Tyreek and Kittle? I have Bijan, Kenneth Walker. I honestly probably don't do it. If you have Kyle Pitts, no. I feel like we're taking on all the risk there for just a little bit of upside. I'm fine trading Cooper Kupp for Tyreek Hill. Oh, actually, no, wait, never mind. Are we getting the Tyreek Hill side? Then yes, we make this deal. Trade Cooper Kupp and DeAndre Swift. Go get Tyreek Hill and George Kittle. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I thought it was vice versa. I thought you were trading Tyreek for Kupp and trying to get an upgrade somewhere else. I was going to say, you need a massive upgrade if you're doing that. Cam says, Jerome Ford, Joshua Kelly, both running back 1s if injuries started. No, not at all. They may be our top 24 RBs, but yeah, you can't call Joshua Kelly or Jerome Ford an RB1 if Eckler or Chubb were to go down. Now, Pickett off the board at 148. So, generally, we can kind of do anything at this turn. I'm not going to be super pumped to go Gallup, considering the fact that we already have Lamb and Brandon Cooks. Plus, we missed out on Dak Prescott. It's like hard to imagine all 3 of those guys being massive hits without Dak Prescott being a massive hit. Derek Carr goes 150. If we're looking at quarterbacks that we could take here, Jordan Love could potentially make some sense to pair him up with Christian Watson. Nice for us to see Michael Gallup off the board, 151. Got a tight end going, which is good for us. Steven coming out. Thank you so much. My man says, hey, Mason, 10-team at PBR. Watson, Chase, Olave, Jacobs, Pierce, Goddard, Dobbins, Keenan, Brian Robinson, Prescott, Laporte. I think we actually looked at this team already, my man. Be happy to look at it again. I mean, the issue is, I think that in general, when you're rostering Sam Laporta, you're going to put yourself in a very difficult position, as well as if we're going to be rostering 2 quarterbacks. I feel like we kind of have to pick one or the other. I mean, the thing with Sam Laporta, he's not going to do anything at the beginning of the year, so rookie tight ends. So what are we holding up? We're holding on to him, hoping that he breaks out as a low-end tight end 1, high-end tight end 2, so we can play him when Dallas Goedert's on his bye. So I don't really like rostering Sam Laporta. I would cut Sam Laporta, see if we can find a running back off the waiver wire with upside. Outside of that, really do like the team, though. I mean, there are really nothing else I can say in terms of trying to come up with moves to make. Okay. Now, this is literally the perfect turn for us. I'm sorry to just sound like a broken drum saying, oh, I love this team. I love this team. I love this. But I love this team, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get Tyler Algier, 15 picks past ADP. He maybe is usable some weeks in best ball, even with the healthy Bijan Robinson. But obviously a premium handcuff RB if you were to get an injury to Bijan. But yeah, I mean, We're also going to get Jordan Love to pair up with Christian Watson. We're still going to take 3 quarterbacks, knowing that our first quarterback was selected 107. Our second guy was at 158. We can easily afford 3 QBs. I like it. Aaron says, hey, Mason, if JT gets traded to Miami, do I panic, trade Tyreek, or still keep? I definitely think no. I don't think JT going to Miami would be too much of a hindrance. I don't think it would be great, but I mean, by no means am I panic trading Tyreek Hill. Especially, it's not something you have to worry for at least another month. Michael says the Amon-Ra St. Brown hype has gone insane. I think I have St. Brown ranked as like the wide receiver 8 or 9. Okay, Everett 164. Musgrave 165. Okay, we're good to see these tight ends go. It's kind of what we want. Roast Beef says 12-team full BBR, Dak, CMC, or Madre Amari, Waddle, Lockett, Hawkinson. Should I trade for a running back and slide him into the flex? No. I mean, if Lockett starts off like super strong, if JSN's not playing right, and then at that point you can get a great price point on a running back, sure. But it seems like if we're making that move right now, we're just trading to trade. It's not necessarily something that team needs. Chew Bubbard off 169. Now, the interesting question with our squad is wide receiver good enough where we potentially only need 7 and we can go 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 7 wide receivers, 2 tight ends? Now, Russ going to be falling a considerable amount. I mean, Russ just looks like he's going to be having a much harder time this year if we consider the fact that you have the Judy injury. You already have Patrick out for the year. You thin it out with no KJ Hamler. So, I mean, Russ is kind of being put in a position to fail before the season even starts. Caden says the hype on Amon-Ra is real for a reason. The volume of targets he's going to get is what you're looking at. Yeah, and that's why I said, like, I like Amon-Ra St. Brown in a full PPR format, right? If you look at his average depth of target, though, I mean, he's not going to be a big play wide receiver. You're more so banking on him just racking up a ridiculous amount of receptions and having a bunch of cheap volume that way. Okay, what is Sprate doing? Only one tight end. Hopefully we see a tight end pick here. Go Greg Dolch. Good. Sparkles always out in these drafts with us. Okay, Jeff Wilson's pretty much undraftable at this point. Could we go with an unstacked Russ if we really wanted to? Tank Dell off the board. Seth asking if there's no way in hell I can find this, right? Oh, perfect. 14-team at PBR, 3-man keeper with Waddle, Andrews, Allen. I'm super sorry I missed this, my friend. I have the 1st, 3rd, and 7th. Okay, so this is the most ridiculous team I've ever seen. CMC, Eckler, Cup, or CMC, Hill, Chubb. This team already is so loaded. We should be the favorite to win this league, so we don't need to go through and roll the dice on a guy like Cooper Kupp here. So I'd probably go like CMC Hill Chubb, to be honest. Just because in a 14-team league, you're already at such a massive advantage in comparison to everybody else at that point. Now we're going to go Russ 179 unstacked. And at running back here, probably going to go ahead and take Kareem Hunt. I know we've been overdrafting Kareem Hunt. I mean, I've invested a lot into this guy. And for the love of God, hopefully he's the starting running back this next season somewhere. I mean, the report's saying that he is actually getting offered jobs. Exciting in my mind. Mike Gregor says, in a 14-team league, do we keep Amon-Ra in the 7th or Garrett Wilson in the 8th? Don't really care about the price point. I mean, this is going to be marginal between the two guys. I'd rather have Garrett Wilson straight up. If not, I think they're literally tied. So there, maybe you can use the price as a tiebreaker. But yeah, we're going to go Garrett Wilson, my friend. But yeah, we'll go Hunt 182. And I think it'll probably be our last pick in this draft. We will go ahead and make 2 more picks, but we've already been live for 2 hours. So we'll probably call the live stream here. But again, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being members of the flock, hanging out with us tonight. Really, really do appreciate y'all. And as always, if you have not done so already, please go down there, drop a like on this live stream. Subscribe to the channel if you play fantasy football. And if you want to get into our next draft with us, whether that's tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day, we're doing this every single night on the live stream. They're best ball drafts, no time commitment at all during the season. I drafted 700 teams, won $150,000 last year on Underdog. Also, only with promo code FLOCK, you're going to get a 100% deposit match, our 2023 fantasy football rankings, a free trial to flockfantasy.com where you can find our 2023 fantasy football draft guide, and also all 3 exclusive Underdog pick'ems. The Josh Allen exclusive one with promo code FLOCK Monday night against the Jets. The Patrick Mahomes site-wide special Thursday night against the Lions. And also, if you're new, you're going to get an additional mystery pick'em special. I've never seen them do 2 in the same week, let alone 3. So please make sure you are taking advantage of that. But thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate y'all. And I really hope I get to see you out with the live stream tomorrow night.